This week's mental health tips are about adult ADHD and establishing rituals. Hi, I'm Angela. I have a husband with bipolar 2 disorder, my kids have ADHD, and I myself have struggled with depression. You're not alone. Rituals in this case are acts that are repeated in a certain way. The way you decide to put those rituals together will be up to what works for you. It may take a little trial and error, but don't give up. I'll give you some ideas to kind of get your creativity going. But remember, creativity is your strong suit. I would start with one thing that's impacting your life negatively. What's sucking the fun and feeding the frustration? For instance, if you're losing your keys all the time, establish a ritual. Put a hook or bowl by the door you come into each day. Use a lanyard so that they're easier to find. And as a backup, so you aren't late for work or school each day, get a smart key finder and get an extra set of keys and keep the extra set in your sock drawer or somewhere obvious so that you won't forget. Maybe you have a paper explosion in your house and you're completely overwhelmed by starting the project. Start with one thing that will work for you. Mail is the enemy. When you get to your mail, throw out the junk mail in the recycle bin before you even get into the house. Switch to e-bills and statements for as many bills as possible. Maybe it's work or school paper that's driving you crazy. When a paper comes in, you can separate it into bins labeled this week, this month, and file. Address the bins at the end of each week, month, and pick an appropriate time to file. Maybe clutter is causing you more anxiety than anything else. My daughter Emily went over to a friend's house one day and she came home saying that she could really figure out why we were able to keep our house tidy. Everything has a home and we don't keep things that we don't use. So if you want to deal with clutter, here's some tips. Most of the time, clutter has to do with too many things and not enough space. This is why it's important to get rid of things when you aren't using them. And if you bring in something new, you definitely want to get rid of something old. My husband doesn't particularly like this ritual since he wants to hold on to that one green t-shirt that he's had since 2011. But I'll keep trying. Baby steps, right? Don't start out by saying, I'm going to declutter my entire house. Just start with one room. Pick an area that bothers you the most and ask yourself a few questions. Is there anything that I can throw away? Is there anything that doesn't belong? And what's frustrating me most about this room? I realize that you can Google a million decluttering books or videos, but this is really about you creating your own ritual. On average, it's said to take 66 days for a new behavior to become a habit. Sometimes it can take a bit longer, but it's worth the investment to let go of the stress and anxiety in your life. Remember to acknowledge that you're not alone in this struggle. Psalm 145, 13 and 14 says, "The Lord is faithful to all his promises and loving to all he has made. The Lord upholds those who fall and lifts up those who are bowed down." What ritual would you like to try? Comment below, I'd love to hear from you. And don't miss out on next week's video on adult ADHD and social skills. A big thank you to His Heart Foundation for supporting this channel. If you want more in-depth mental health information for you and those you love, check out mentalhealth.academy today.